For more than 30 years, St. Vincent's Spirit has been thriving in an inviting home in a residential area on Long Island, New York. Paul Boron shows us how the Dismas House is providing returning citizens the opportunity to live successful lives.
In what may look like just another house in a quiet neighborhood on Long Island, New York, you'll find instead a home where lives are being transformed.
10, 11 people who have left, friends and role models, because they're gainfully employed, they save money, and they moved on. They got apartments, so they're back into society, functioning as a productive member of society.
George Daring knows from experience. Following incarceration, George transitioned back into the community with the support of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul of Long Island's Dismas House.
The most important thing that I found is that initially the transition is great, wonderful, and amazing because you could focus on your programs if you're on parole and doing certain things where you don't have to worry about a bed to sleep in, food to eat, a roof over your head, and you have volunteers and guidance, and they give you such helpful advice.
Dismas, the repentant thief who was crucified beside Jesus, serves as the inspiration for the Society's work in transitioning returning citizens. Getting back to basics can prove challenging. Dismas House, a departure from a traditional institutional setting, offers a safe and supportive environment structured to address the needs of the marginalized.
Dismas House is a bit of a miracle, right in a normal residential community. We take in men from various state of New York institutions, men who are looking for a second chance, sometime a third, fourth, or fifth chance. And what we do here is we give them a safe and supportive environment, but we also give them some rules and procedures and accountability, and we strive to balance that.
Vincent Strinkowski works at Dismas House and says the first step in helping these men is not passing judgment on them.
Being judgmental is not productive here. I mean, you have to be observant. You have to try to understand where certain talk and behaviors are coming from. I mean, we try to meet every guy where they are.
Thank you. During the Society's annual Friends of the Poor walk, Michael Pistone volunteers by directing traffic. It wasn't long ago his life was lacking direction. Living at the Dismas House provided a much-needed second chance.
I found Dismas House and I decided to change, you know. I decided that, like a family setting and a home care. They gave me clothes and food, and it just changed my whole life and my attitude.
The new attitude has transformed Michael into a new and better version of himself. And much of that success is because of the support he receives at the Dismas House.
Accomplishment. Yep. Instead of coming here with 40 bucks and nowhere to go, I got about 10,000 in the bank now. I got my own vehicle. I mean, you know, what more can you ask for? I'm happy. I have a social life. I have a girl out east who I love, you know, very much. I got a second chance.
Tom Farrell of Vincentian with the conference at Maria Regina Catholic Church has been volunteering at the Dismas House nearly every Saturday morning for some 25 years.
I talk to the guys. I listen to them. They want to discuss anything. I'm here to discuss. I am not a counselor. I don't have any background in what they do here. But I just talk that these guys, a lot of them just want somebody to talk to. And I'm a pretty good listener.
Tom is a wonderful man. He's a beautiful person, and I think of him like a father and a grandfather, and I have nothing but love and respect for him.
While George enjoys the conversations, it's Tom who gets so much more from sharing his time and being present.
It brings me a lot of satisfaction, you know, that I'm here able to help these fellas. There was some trepidation when I first came because I knew everybody here was just out of jail. And I had never been in an environment before where people are just out of jail. But after a week or two, it was coming home to the family.
Vincentian Diane Regan with the conference at St. Peter of Alcantara Catholic Church volunteers at Dismas House, preparing meals made with love while building friendships during every visit.
We do it. There's about 14 of us, I think, in the program, and we rotate. We come by twos because visitations are supposed to walk as twos, so we cook as twos. And you know, from that very first meal, it's such a wonderful program. It's so rewarding that's what keeps me coming back, is the men here in this house and that meal and the fellowship.
Diane says the volunteers and the residents come together. It's much like a family dinner.
The meal starts with prayer, and it's just, you know, you feel the love of God around that table with you when I leave here at night, because we get here about, you know, 5:30ish, leave here about 8 o'clock. And when I drive home, I just feel special.
Sarah Lynn Vasili, a Vincentian with the conference at St. Edward the Confessor Catholic Church, also cooks at Dismas House. Sarah Lynn believes the meals are emblematic of the Society's person-to-person contact.
We give a hand up, not necessarily a hand out. And we really try to help people get back on their feet in all aspects of our work. You know, if there's financial difficulties, if there's illness, we try and help them to get back on their feet. It's really humbling to see how hard these residents are working to just come back into society.
Father Jerry Ringenbach, spiritual advisor for the Society on Long Island, says Dismas House is a spiritual program.
I think about the Matthew 25. Jesus uses this parable of the sheep and the goats, and he talks about, when I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was in prison, you visited me. But Dismas House is saying, and when you left prison, we cared for you. And that's a critical moment in anyone who has been through the penal system. And I think St. Vincent de Paul Society has a great opportunity to help them. It's hard for us to get a sense of what it'd be like to return. And so I think we really do, through the spiritual program that we offer, it's not just, you know, getting a job or, you know, being able to reconnect with family, but it's also giving them a sense of their own spiritual worth.
For many who have come through this program and lived in this house, life has changed, and for the better.
To rescue me and to accept me like that, you know, was a wonderful thing. And I'm very grateful that I show it every day. Things are looking up, man. I'm real happy. I got a social life. I'm very happy.
Every day is a holiday and a blessing for me. And I truly thank God and everyone who's helped me and supported me. And now it's my turn to do well with their help and to give back. And I do it with a loving heart.
These men could easily have remained lost if not for setting foot inside this simple house in this friendly neighborhood. Along the way, they found a home full of love and support and a new purpose in life. For Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul, I'm Paul Boran.
Thanks, Paul. The Dismas House has a track record of success. All told, more than 70% of residents go on to lead productive lives in the community.